Well, well, well. Here we go again. It's Mega season, apparently. We're in a Mega Fiesta. Now that we're about 2 months out from the release of Pokemon Legends ZA, I guess they're just going to be handing us Mega reveals over and over again. We just saw Mega Victory Bell only about a week ago, which, by the way, thank you to everyone who checked out my video on Victory Bell and Mega Design in general. There's been a lot of really awesome conversation taking place. But that was only a week ago, and now today we have ourselves another Mega Pokemon reveal. On Twitter, Pokemon posted an advertisement for a brawl. Machamp versus Hawlucha, the Battle of Champions. We didn't know what was about to happen, but we knew at least one of these Pokemon were about to Mega Evolve. Although personally, I had a thought where I didn't think maybe either was going to Mega Evolve, and a third Pokemon would just show up out of nowhere with a steel chair. My roommate joked about Incineroar, and could you imagine? The internet would be on fire right now. With how much this whole setup reminded me of his Smash Ultimate reveal trailer. Well, it was not Incineroar. This is your last chance for spoilers. Turn away now if you haven't seen it. The Mega reveal today was Mega Hawlucha. I do, of course, want to talk about the video itself. I did really enjoy it. It stands as such a contrast to the Victory Bell video that we got last week. First of all, the fact that we even knew the participants. You know, the teaser for the Victory Bell video gave us nothing other than like horror vibes, making us think that maybe there was a ghost type incoming. But this time, like, we had the Pokemon in question lined up for us. Hawlucha and Machamp. These Pokemon do have a bit of a history together. In the X and Y anime, Ash's Hawlucha had a whole arc in place between him and a Machamp and trying to prove that he was better than it. Both Ash's Hawlucha and this Hawlucha that was in the trailer both showcased so much personality. Hawlucha is a really show-offy Pokemon. He can't just fight and battle. He has to pose. He has to display himself for the audience. This ends up being Hawlucha's downfall a lot of the time. There was a whole thing with Ash's Hawlucha about that exact thing. And even here, you can see Hawlucha's trainer looking kind of frustrated at Hawlucha's show-offiness. And then, oh no, Machamp comes back up and attacks Hawlucha off guard because he was showing off. So very on brand for this Pokemon. But of course, as Hawlucha is knocked down but not out, he comes back up, and thanks to the bond with his trainer, he Mega Evolves. This is our first true and proper Mega Evolution from Generation 6 from the Kalos region. The only other Pokemon is Diancie, a mythical Pokemon, and a Pokemon not readily available in the proper games. It was always kind of wild to me that the generation that revealed Mega Evolution also didn't provide any Mega Evolutions to their new region's Pokemon. So I'm so glad that we're finally past that limitation. Like, we're now giving Mega Evolutions to Kalos native Pokemon, and Hawlucha is such a cool choice. I think the design is excellent. You know, in my Victory Bell video, we talked a lot about, you know, people's expectations on Mega Pokemon design and how goofier designs are not necessarily everybody's cup of tea. It hasn't been that much time so far. Like, I'm making this video right now just after the trailer's release, so I haven't gotten to examine everybody's reactions, but I have a hard time imagining this Mega design not resonating with people. This is pretty much exactly what one would imagine a Mega Hawlucha looking like. He's bigger, he's tougher, and he's covered in gold. Even more of a spectacle than he is in his base form. I love that once he evolves, he just no-sells Machamp's attacks, like really showcasing how much bulkier he now is. I wonder if, once again, this is going to be a new evolution that loses speed, and in return, making Mega Hawlucha just beefier in the defense department, maybe beefier in the HP department. It's tough to know these things right now, but just based on looks alone, I'm really happy with what they've done here. I wonder how many people out there were hoping for Mega Machamp. You know, of course, Machamp did not receive a Mega today. And can I just say, you know, they're here having this, what looks like very official boxing-like match here. I don't know the rules of Pokemon wrestling, but if one of them has a Mega and the other one does not have a Mega, that's gotta be cheating. I don't think that can be considered a fair match. But you know, with Hawlucha's flying type, maybe this wasn't fair to begin with, so what do I know? But anyway, Machamp being the other possible Mega recipient is interesting. Of course, that is a Generation 1 Pokemon. So had Machamp gotten it rather than Hawlucha, I think there definitely would have been some outcries from the Gen 1 bias, you know, criticizers, which, you know, it would be fair, like, out of these two, like, nothing against Machamp, but obviously I think Hawlucha is a much more, like, worthy recipient here in this case. Though, of course, I would have loved having both. I could just totally imagine this monstrous looking Machamp. I mean, you gotta give him 6 arms, right? Like, that's just the natural progression. And it would have been sick, but I mean, Machamp did get his Gigantamax form like 2 generations back, so I think he'll live. Another interesting thing that I thought about was, I don't think in any of the footage that we've seen of ZA so far, if we've seen any like gym leaders or gym leader equivalents. The game takes place in a singular city, so I guess maybe it wouldn't make sense to see gym leaders from other areas of Kalos. I mean, Clement has got to be there somewhere, right? He's the Lumiose gym leader, so you'd think that he'd be hiding amongst this city someplace. But the reason that I bring it up is I wonder what trainers might be using these new Megas that we're receiving. Because I look at Hawlucha and I'm like, well, Karina has a Hawlucha. She's more known for having a Mega Lucario, but I was like, maybe a Mega Hawlucha might also mean we see Karina. And they could also give Victory Bell to Ramos, you know, the grass type gym leader. There wasn't a dragon type gym leader, but there was a Elite Four member that was a dragon type user. It was the nice old lady. I can't remember her name. Drasna, I think? So that could be a recipient of Mega Dragonite. Not that, you know, there's any precedent for these characters showing up at all. It's just we couldn't even consider that with Pokemon Legends Arceus because that game took place in the past, the far past. This one is much more in the present day. Like, there are characters here that were in X and Y. Like, this is, you know, a close enough part of the timeline that any character that we know from the Kalos region could show up again. And they could show up again with new Megas. Interesting to ponder, interesting to think about. But for now, I think that's everything to be said about Mega Hawlucha. Of course, I would love to know what everybody thinks of this design. Is this the Mega Hawlucha that you were hoping for? Or if there's another concept or theme that you would have liked Mega Hawlucha to have been themed around, do let me know. And do you think we're getting another one next week? Like, this one just set up a precedent that we're gonna be receiving these weekly. I can hardly imagine that it's gonna be every single week until launch, but like, maybe? Well, until then, I'll say my goodbyes for now. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.